It's true, bamboo bedding is dreamy to sleep on. That's why Quince aptly named their Bamboo Dream Quilt Set. Coming in 12 colors, you're absolutely going to love this quilt and 2 shams set. Starting at the softest of pinks and going all the way to a dark navy. It's going to be perfect for anyone's room. Your own, your guest rooms, your kids' rooms, maybe even back to the dorm bedding. Quince has everything you need to elevate your space, from bedding to soft organic towels, airy curtains, and premium kitchen tools designed for everyday use. And of course, as you know, Quince has gorgeous cashmere and other wardrobe essentials. And the best part, Quince's products are half the cost of similar brands. They partner with top artisans and cut out the cost of the middleman, passing the savings on to us. Thank you, Quince. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, so you can feel good about your purchases from Quince. Elevate your space with home essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT.
God dag! We're in a Swedish mood today. Hi, I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today's episode is Ikea Curated for You. Are you snickering over there?
I am, because I didn't know you spoke Swedish, and I just recently learned something else spectacular about you. Can I share with everyone that Anita is an award-winning figure skater? Maybe that's when you learn to speak Swedish, because it's kind of like a cold thing.
Award-winning, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Well, you got some badges and patches, I think.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
But, you think you know somebody. And this is why she's such an onion. She just keeps revealing herself after all these years. Still new things to learn.
Oh, boy.
Well, I didn't learn how to speak Swedish, so I'm going to butcher some of these names. But we thought you guys loved the IKEA episode that we did a while back, and we loved going to IKEA. So it's a lot of fun, and it definitely deserves a place. Items for IKEA can work in lots of good design and decorating. It's the low in the mix of the highs and the lows, or it can be one of the lows. And I don't mean low in a bad way, just less expensive. But some IKEA is just too IKEA. It's too obvious.
IKEA.
Yeah, it's just too dorm room. And the other problem I find that you run into with IKEA is you go to the store, and no matter how many times I've been to this, just one IKEA that I've gone to, it is a maze. I get confused. Mm-hmm. It's good there are arrows, but I think they're kind of directing me where they want me to go, not necessarily out the door where I maybe want to go. And then the low prices really turn your head, and you end up buying things that in the light of day, when you finally do make it out of the store, they don't really cut it. So we decided to curate what's going on at IKEA right now for all of you, so you don't run into those problems, but you get to enjoy the best of IKEA and mix it in with your other items and have a fabulously designed home with some highs and lows.
Well, I read an article about how IKEA is coming after Target.
Oh.
And they're trying to compete head to head there. So that might explain some of these new designs I found that I thought were really quite charming.
That's interesting, because what I was saying about IKEA being just too IKEA, that was what it was for so long.
Very simple. Yes, yeah, very simple designs.
The white stuff that you put together, and everybody got those when they got their first apartment in New York, or if it was your dorm room or something like that. Everybody had IKEA, and it was just so obvious, and a lot of it was the primary colors. So not so great. But yeah, they've definitely been adding some textiles and new designs and using some great materials. I think that's really important, whether it's IKEA or any place else that you're getting something that's a lower priced item. If you go for the natural material, it's not a synthetic and it's not a plastic or some sort of composite, I think you can get away with spending a lot less and having it look really good. So I'm thinking things like cotton, of course, rattan, things like that can still look good at a much lower price point.
Absolutely. So can we get started? Ready?
Yeah, you start with the first
Okay.
name.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Now I know why.
Well,
I want to
because you
start.
speak Swedish. No,
Oh, well, I
it's
do
obvious.
now because
Yeah.
I said good morning. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
good day. I said good day. So I'm so confused about what I said.
Well, you
Okay.
don't know. People could be listening to this at any time. Good day was better than good morning.
Yes, it was good day. Okay. So the summer flocks tablecloth.
Do I have to say it with that sort of inflection? You really sound like the Swedish chef from the Muppets.
I'm trying. I don't want to offend anybody Swedish, so I'm making some small
Making some
effort here.
effort. Okay.
Okay, this is actually a really pretty tablecloth. It's a 59-inch floral tablecloth with big flowers, kind of a watercolor design. And it doesn't look IKEA-ish like we were saying. It kind of looks more like something you would get from Target. And it's $12.99, which is an incredible price for a 59-inch tablecloth.
And what colors does it come?
Well, I mean, it's kind of an off-white, and then it's got these big pink flowers. Maybe they're poppies with kind of a dark center and some green leaves.
So pretty. And I'm going to love this because off the bat, I didn't see that anywhere. So I don't know if you have different things in your IKEA or what was going on, but I bet we're not even going to have any crossovers. So my first one is super simple. It's the Bilog box, and it's made of bamboo. It's a woven bamboo. Think of like a sort of a flattened bamboo woven together into a very simple rectangle, 9 by 12 by 9. And if those dimensions ring a bell with you, that's the size of the shelves in the Billy bookcases. So it's a really great basket to be putting in your Billies if you need to be collecting smaller things, or it's a great item to maybe use for magazines you want to keep, or kids' toys, or anything, dog leashes. They're really good looking, and they're in this really nice, warm sort of tobacco color. And they're each one is $15.99.
The prices are just amazing on all of their products. So speaking of storage, I found some really pretty fabric covered or a fabric look box. And this is in a gray, and it's got a really pretty front label that comes with it where you can write what's in the box. And I'm sure these come flat and you fold them up yourself, but $15.99. And I got some blue boxes like this, kind of some Tiffany blue boxes several years ago, and they are so beautiful. So I think if you have some open storage and you got a bunch of these boxes, it would look so clean, and it would not look like ugly storage. Life's too short to have ugly storage. This would be beautiful storage.
Put that on a pillow. Yes, absolutely. And Anita has mentioned in the past about having these beautiful boxes in your closets. You could use in your clothes closet or in a pantry or any place that you need to store some things. That's a great way to go. Okay. Begavinig sounds catchy. I like the way it sounds. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but this is a cloche. I have this in the smaller size. It comes in a 7-inch and I think maybe a 14-inch. And it is a simple glass dome with no top, but it has a really pretty shiny brass base. And I keep it on my bookshelf in my living room, and I try to remember to switch it out every once in a while just for interest, but also seasonally. I have this really old Santa that was my grandma's that's kind of a statue, and he'll go in there at Christmas time. Right now I have a really kind of funky set of playing cards standing up in there that have a great cover. So it's just a really great piece to showcase smaller items. We love a cloche. So this one of mine on my shelf sits on a stack of books, and then it has whatever item I'm putting in it inside of it. It's $17.99 for the larger one, and I believe $14.99 for the smaller one.
I found another really charming patterned fabric. This time it's on a pillow cover, and it's the Parksalot, and this is kind of a soft coral pink background, or maybe just kind of a pastel pink, and it has green squash with all the vines, and so it's really just pink and green, and it's so beautiful. I think this would be so pretty with a bunch of these maybe on a summer couch. And $5.99. for
I know,
each
that's
one.
crazy. And usually their pillows have the zippers, so it's not even an envelope closure. For that price, it's really a deal. Okay, I think this is going to be my favorite name to say. Nesselklocke.
Oh, so, there you go. Hey, you're getting into it. I gotta go in a little bit. Okay, and I know these personally. I have come in contact with the Nesselklockes because I used them at a client's house recently to great success. She absolutely loved them. She couldn't believe the price for these. They are an off-white, it's a pillow. I should say, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a 20 by 20 pillow. They're velvet, a cotton velvet. The background is an off-white, and it's a floral. And it has so many beautiful colors. It has greens, some sage green. It has some reds. It has even a little pink. There's a little yellow in there. I think there even might be a little purple. I mean, there's a color for almost everyone in this pillow. And she had this great banquette in her kitchen, but it was very simple. So she had the cushions, and they were a deep red. And she just had these little striped pillows in there. It just wasn't doing anything for the room. So I think I got 3 of these off-white florals. And then we got the other ones that I've talked about in the past, the Sanellas. They're only $8.99, and that's the solid velvet from Ikea. And we mixed them in. So I pulled in some of the colors from the floral pillow. It looks fantastic. And then we put some botanicals on the wall over them. They're not from Ikea, but they were from a great Etsy shop. But it's just amazing what those pillows did to this banquette. It completely changed the look. And for $12.99, it's a beautifully made pillow. But again, I'll remind you, we talked about this, I think, pretty recently, a couple of episodes ago, about don't get the Ikea 20 by 20 insert. Go someplace else, go to a Joann's or buy on Amazon or buy from a local shop near you and get a 20 by 22 to really fill out the 20 by 20 pillow. Right, and I'll link to a 22 by 22 insert if you are looking for a source. And the pillow cover that I just mentioned is a 20 by 20, and my next pillow cover is also a 20 by 20. So I love these wool pillow covers, and you just cannot get wool pillow covers like this that are woven. When you do, they're $100 or more. And I've seen a lot at Round Top, and yeah, $100, $200, that's what we're talking. Here, $24.99. So it looks like they took a rug and made it into a pillow cover. So this one is striped. It's got pink and red stripes, off-white, and I think a little blue, a little yellow. But they're all joined together in this wool cover, and it's just a beautiful piece of artwork. I think this pillow would go very well if you selected a color in the cover and added some pillows with those colors in just solids. I think that would go so beautifully. And again, just the wool woven fabric, it just looks very high end.
I didn't see that either. Wow. Okay, that sounds really great. Okay, we're in the pillow department, so let me just stick with I have one more pillow. It's the Ida Linea, and you may have seen this one, or you should check it out because it comes pink and white, but it also comes in a black and white. They're calling the black anthracite, and it's a floral. Beautiful pillow. Zipper closure, $6.99, and it's cotton. Wow. It's a lovely pillow. And I'll just say these are already in my cart, and I will tell you the other things as we go through that I have put in my cart. Okay, because I have seen many of these items that we're talking about today in real life, in the real Ikea, or as I mentioned at my client's house, but I was doing a little updating my research last night, and I was like, these are fantastic. I want to include these and pop them into the cart. So I'm going to get a couple of these. And last year I had purchased just simple black and white stripe pillows, big cabana stripes from Ikea. And I think this will work really beautifully. And I'm just going to use them outside because no matter how much you spend for an outdoor pillow, it's not going to look so great at the end of the season, or you have to really clean it to really give it a good refresh, because I'm not being a slave to my pillows. They're sitting outside unless I know it's really going to pour or some weird weather storm is going to come through. They're just out there. And so if it lasts for a season at $6.99, I'm okay with that. So I'm getting a couple of these in black. You might want to check them out in the pink. Everybody should check out everything we're talking about.
I can't wait to get all of your links for these too. And it does seem like, am I in like the Texas Ikea and you're the California one? I don't know.
It could be regional.
No, I don't think it is. But the next item is a duvet cover and pillowcases. It's the Varbraca duvet cover and pillowcase, and this is in beige and white, and it's kind of a scrolly, leafy kind of look. And I love designs that are just two colors. The simplicity has an elegance to it, and I just love, like I said, the simplicity of it, but yet it's a little more flourishy than the usual IKEA design, like we've been saying. I have a price of $27.99, and I think that is for the double queen.
Wow.
And they use some sort of process with their cotton. They said they grow it with less water and pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not organic, but it is less pesticides. So I always like it when I hear that.
Yeah, I don't have this on the list, but it's a sheet set that I got for our loft bedroom that we created from one of my girls. And I just saw it I can't remember the woman's name, but she is at Colfax and Fowler, the famous British design house. And she is like the managing director of there. She's using that same IKEA bed set in her guest house somewhere in London.
And which one is that?
I recognize. I can't remember the name of it. I think they might have discontinued it because I was looking for it and I didn't see it. But I have the same one. I was like, if she can use IKEA, we all can use IKEA.
Heck yeah.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show. But keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. I can't stop using dupe.com. This is an amazing website, service, best friend. I absolutely love it. So you find something that you really want and it's too expensive. It's a budget buster. Then you use dupe.com and you can find almost the exact thing or very similar products for much less. So I was crushing on this incredibly gorgeous coffee table. I had it in my mind. I had it in my Pinterest boards. I had it everywhere, but I just didn't have it in my house because it was too expensive. When I learned about dupe.com, that was the first product that I tested. And boy, did I find some amazing dupes. And I purchased one. So the original was almost $3,000. And Dupe showed me many choices, all the way down to under $200. Now, you may think something this extraordinary is hard to use, but it's so easy. Just type dupe.com/ before any product URL in your browser, and boom, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account required, no sign up required. It's completely free. That's completely FREE free to use. Stop wasting your money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today. The next thing that I have is something I always coveted, and I got to get one because a friend of mine decided she didn't want hers anymore, and she gave it to me a couple of years ago. So, if you were going to the farmer's market, maybe in France, or maybe you were strolling down Portobello Road, and instead of having, your old lady cart that's made of metal, you would have this wicker one on wheels. You know what I'm talking about, right, Anita?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So they have one of these at Ikea, but they're calling it a laundry basket. Well, they're calling it the Tolkiening laundry basket. Theirs has a lid. Mine doesn't have a lid. So what I've done with mine is it's in my dining room, and it sort of sits in this odd corner, and I have a pretty big peace palm in it, which looks fantastic. But, if I was a person who was going to go buy a baguette, close by, I could drag it with me and go do that and look fab. But when I go to the Rose Bowl, I do take my very solid metal cart there. I wouldn't take this, but I think it's beautiful as decor. And so this laundry basket holds 8 gallons of laundry, or it's 8 gallons big. It's $89.99. It has wheels. And so I think you could use it for the farmer's market. You could use it as storage because it has a lid. You could, of course, use it as they're showing it as a laundry basket. But you could use it like I do and put a plant in it. And it's made of willow. And they say it's handmade. I don't know who's hand making it, but that is a great price for something like that.
And what was the price?
$89.99.
Oh, yeah, that does sound good. My next item is another duvet set. This is the Sorg Mantle duvet cover and pillowcase, and it is in white and green. And this kind of reminds me of one of those William Morris patterns where it's a white background and green leaves. They look kind of like olive leaves. It's just, again, another very clean and simple pattern, but it's just very pleasing, very calming. And I think this would just be a very nice look. Now, they do say they used recycled polyester and natural cotton in here, so I don't know how it feels, but, I guess good for them for using recycled polyester. But yeah, normally I just go for just the cotton, but I'd have to see this one in person, but online it looks really pretty.
Yeah, give it a feel. Okay, here's another item that is woven. This is rattan. It's the cactus pecan, and it's a rattan planter pot. They have a couple of sizes. The smaller one is just under 5 inches. It's 4 3/4. It's $10.99. It is so well made. It's got kind of like a little turned lip on it. It just is that chunky, yummy rattan that just looks pretty expensive and it looks more old world. And they have another size. It's the 9-inch, and that's $35. So I have these and I absolutely love them. They definitely elevate a little plant. If you are a person who buys those orchids at Trader Joe's, which I do a lot, that pot fits in these perfectly. And sometimes the Trader Joe's pots, they're fine. And it's nice that you're getting a ceramic pot for the same price that you would get maybe a plastic one elsewhere. But sometimes they're just not working with my colors, or I just don't like the pattern, even if it's a white one. So I'll slip them out of there and put them in one of these rattan planter pots, the smaller size. And then I just said, well, let me go see, because I know that Terrain, which we love, sells very similar things. Oh my gosh, like you can't touch one of these at Terrain in the smaller size for less than $30. So the smaller one here at Ikea is $10.99, and the bigger 9-inch, which could hold a really nice size houseplant, is $35. But they just really just have such a good, chunky, well-made look to them. Lots of texture.
Oh, sounds wonderful. So let's move into the lighting.
Oh.
I found a Renarp pendant lamp, $49.99. And this is kind of like one of those schoolhouse pendant lights.
Yeah.
So it does look kind of old-fashioned, but updated. And it's got steel joints, and it's got a textile cord. And it's just really pretty. I think this would look great in a breakfast room for $49.99.
Now, when you say the textile cord, so you mean it's covered, right? It's got the fabric on it, or not necessarily fabric, but kind of like cording. It's not a plastic plug.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I have an IKEA desk lamp that I actually got in an estate sale, but I know it's an IKEA. It says it on the bottom, and I'm looking at it right now. First of all, it's a great lamp, and it has the cording in black and white, and makes such a difference. It just really elevates it, and I think they use that on a lot of their lighting, and obviously doesn't cost them that much to do it, but it really makes a difference in the look. I have a lamp that I have not only on my list, but I have in my house. And it comes in brass and white, or the silver, sort of a brushed silver, and with a white shade. And it's kind of the empire shape that you told us about a couple of weeks ago. And it's pleated. It's a smaller lamp. So you wouldn't really put a drum shade on this lamp necessarily. I think the empire really suits the size of it. It's the Arsted lamp. It's $31.99. It's 22 inches tall, and it's very simple. Just the simple base. It has a little bevel on it, and then just the metal piping, if you will, that comes up as the, to hold the light bulb. But it has a little ball and chain where you turn it on and off. And it just makes it, the whole thing is so charming to have that little ball and chain. And the brass is really pretty. The Empire shade, as I mentioned, looks really nice on it. And with the pleating, it just adds a little element to it. It kind of reminds you of, you're seeing so much in British design now, the fabric lampshade. So it's a little nod to that. It's not a pattern, but it is really pretty. And it gives off a nice light. And it even comes with its own bulb.
What about a rattan chair? The Homestuck armchair is handmade, and it looks so pretty. It's hand-woven rattan, bamboo, and wood, and it's got curved arms and then a squared-off back. And it just has some very pleasing details to it. It looks like you would definitely need a cushion for this, but I'm sure they sell them. And $2.19.
I think it comes with the cushion.
Does it?
I think so.
They're not showing a picture with the cushion, but
because I was looking at that one, and they were saying they gave the color of the cushion, so I was like, oh, cushion's probably included. But you know why I was looking for a rattan chair? Because remember, I think when we did this episode a couple of years ago, they had the by Homa. They had that really chunky rattan chair that we both really liked. I've had this chair running through my brain. I was like, I'm going to find a place to use that chair. Well, darn it, they don't carry that chair anymore. But they have the by Homa basket, which I do have and I do love. And that is that chunky, yummy rattan. It's kind of more in a gray wash, and they also fit very nicely in the Billies. I have one. I'm looking at it right now. And that is $12.99, and it's 9 by 11 by 6.
Wonderful.
Do you have another one?
Oh, yes. Are you done?
No, but I just did my basket.
Okay. Got it. All right. My next item is the Napang. They're botanical prints. Well, one is a vegetable garden, the other one is an herb garden. One is black and white, and the other one kind of has a parchment background color and black figures. But it just kind of has all these herbs from the garden and all these vegetables you might have in the garden. And it's a set of 2, which I think is a great deal for $24.99. And they are 16 by 20. So that's really a nice size. And I think that would be really fun in a kitchen or a breakfast room.
Yeah, those are really great. I've seen those in person, and they really are a nice size. And they don't look cheap. They really don't. I have a rug. It's the Osvig rug. It's multicolor, so the medallion style, traditional with that distressed look. So, you've seen this sort of thing. Safavia and other companies are doing that same sort of rug. But it's a really pretty combination of colors. There's blues and yellows and rust with mostly I would say like an off-white ivory background. So the 7-foot 10-inch, so let's just maybe call it an 8-foot by 9-foot 10-inch. So let's say like it's really an 8-foot by 10. You're losing a couple inches, but it's $169.99.
Wow.
It is synthetic, of course. You're not going to get a wool rug for that price and that size, but it's a great looking rug. It would be great in a high traffic area. Even though it just had too much blue in it for me, but I was like, oh, wow, this could be something that I could use out in the barn because, there's a lot of kids in and out of there all the time. I'm not going to put a really expensive rug out there. But for anybody who is looking for that sort of rug, and if you've got these colors, which there are a lot of in there, I would definitely take a look at it.
Oh, that sounds, I'm going to have to check that one out. So speaking of laundry, which you did earlier, I found the Perpingla laundry bag. And this is a big canvas bag that you can carry and put your laundry in it if you're going to the laundry, if you're taking your laundry there. But even just maybe carrying it from upstairs to downstairs, or it's just kind of a nice bag that you might even be able to use if you're traveling and you want to just throw some things in there. I think it has a lot of uses.
I'm thinking beach bag.
That's right, $19.99, and they're saying it's a 26-gallon bag. So it says it's freestanding, but you can store it in your wardrobe, hang it on a hook, and it's soft and easy to fold when you're not using it. And there is a drawstring enclosure at the top.
Good one. Okay, I'm going big now. Sofa. And I know this sofa. because I have the sofa in my girls' lounge room. The Moraba sofa. We have it in the light green. It's beautiful. It's held up really nicely. It's tufted. It has wooden legs. The green is kind of this two-tone, like a melange kind of heathery kind of look. So it definitely looks a lot more expensive than it is. It's the foam wrapped with poly. Now, recently we talked about sofas with foam wrapped with down, which is, a higher end sofa, obviously going to cost a heck of a lot more than $899. But this is a beautiful sofa, 2 cushions, back cushions, and they have a lot of different variations of it. It even comes in a chair version, but you can add a chaise. I think you can take the arm off the sofa if you buy it, and you can add a chaise later on. It's very versatile, and they have it in a lot of different colors, but I happen to have it in this light green, and it's terrific. Okay, so what are we defining today? Maybe something Swedish. I don't know.
Oh, I should have thought of that. I thought we'd define split level house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't really sure what this was. But I lived in one at one time. So, but I was a little, I was less than 10.
Was that when you were a skater? You were just out on the ice all the time, and
it was before I was a skater.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was a skater when I lived in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where I did that. So a split level house is a house that has multiple floors that are staggered. So usually there's 2 sets of stairs off the main level. So you come in and go up 1 set of stairs to the bedroom, and then you go around and down to the basement. So it's kind of considered 3 levels of living, although they really are just 2 stories usually. And these became very popular after World War II when the soldiers came back and they needed something that could be built affordably and quickly and fit on a small lot. And the split level fit the bill. Do you know one of the most famous split level homes?
Was the Brady's a split level?
Brady's house. See, I thought you would know. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh gosh, can't you just describe that whole house? I mean,
I should have just said it's a Brady house. There, that's a split level.
Okay, my crush today is something you can buy when you're getting your groceries. Does anybody else feel that way? Like if you just tack something on while you're grocery shopping, it almost doesn't even count, right?
No, if it's at the checkout register, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Or sometimes I don't go into Whole Foods so much anymore. I do ordering from Whole Foods where they deliver, which is just a phenomenal thing that, has carried over from the pandemic. But when I used to go into Whole Foods, they have the whole beauty section and all the fun soaps and the body washes and candles. And they even sometimes had workout clothes in my Whole Foods. So, if you're checking that stuff in the cart, it's just part of the grocery bill. I didn't just buy an outfit. I just went to Whole Foods. So now that I've been shopping online and having the Whole Foods delivered, I did find this candle that I love. And so every couple of weeks when I've burned it down, I order another one. It's the Kalin Wax Company. And the one I have chosen is the Aspen Fog. I chose it initially because I obviously couldn't smell it because I was ordering online, but I liked the container as this sort of matte ivory color. And so I thought, well, that would go in any of the rooms, but they do have other really pretty colored containers too. And obviously reusable if you do the trick where after you burn the candle far enough down, you just stick the candle container into your freezer. The wax should just pull away from the sides. You can toss the wax and then you can use it for a bud vase or pencil holder or whatever you want to do. But it's the Kalin Wax Company, Aspen Fog. It is a beautiful scent. I was really pleased with it. And $9.44 as of today. The full price, I think, on that one is about $11, but usually it's on sale. So if anybody else is doing their Whole Food shopping through Amazon groceries and whatnot, you can find it there.
Oh,
they also have their own site, which I checked out, and they sell a lot of different candles on their own site. And they also contribute a nice portion of the profits or their proceeds to help combat human trafficking. So they have a whole dignity series of candles, which I think this Aspen Fog is part of. So it's a good deed, good smell, great container, and you can kind of sneak it into your grocery shopping.
Well, I love that they are fighting the human trafficking because that's a major problem. And yeah, it's kind of ignored a lot. So good for them. So let's support them. My crush is the Maribel doormat from Anthropologie. And it is a coconut core PVC backing. So it's made like most doormats. But that's where the commonality ends.
Ooh.
This looks like a rug that you would have in your home, like in an 8x10. It is so beautiful. It's printed, the whole thing. So it doesn't look, there's no place where you see that, orangey kind of yellow core that you usually see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a dark navy, and it's got teal and a peach in there. It is so pretty. And not like any other doormat I've seen, because usually it just says welcome or hi, my name's Matt or something like that, or welcome home,
Hi, my name's Matt.
But this one is really an elegant look, and I think it's really pretty. The only downside really is that it's a 20x30. So if you have a larger door, this won't work with it.
So much fun today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I love when somebody curates the universe for me, so we thought you might enjoy us curating IKEA for you. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.